Hey everybody, this is Lisa Scott. Welcome to my channel, Permission to Live in the End. I like to share on this channel a Neville Goddard quote so that we can extract all of the possible impressions that we have the ability to place on our subconscious from out of the Neville Goddard quote. And there's always a whole bunch of nuggets in just a couple of sentences. But then what I like to do is share my own personal experience as related to the Neville Goddard quote so that we can go even deeper and really get a practical example of what Neville is sharing, and that it is true. That it is true that you are the operant power, that it is true that everything in this world is imagination, that it is true that no sooner than we impress upon the subconscious mind successfully, that we will be able to have whatever you want in your world, in this world, in the world of Caesar, as Neville places or says it. Of course, I gotta read something to you, and this is from Neville's 1968 lecture called Brazen Impudence. He says, "I tell you this story only to illustrate a principle. You do not need to ask anyone to aid you in the answer to a prayer, for the simple reason that God is omnipotent and omniscient. He is in you as your own wonderful I amness. Everyone on the outside is your servant, your slave, ready and able to do your will. All you need do is know what you want. Construct a scene which would imply the fulfillment of your desire. Enter the scene and remain there. If your imaginal counselor, your feeling of fulfillment, that's your imaginal counselor, agrees with that which is used to illustrate your fulfilled desire, your fantasy will become a fact. If it does not, start all over again by creating a new scene and enter it. It costs you nothing to imagine consciously." And when I read this, even though I know this information, this part stuck out to me to go a little deeper into and to remind you. I've shared other videos with regard to what I'm going to say, but you get something different every time, right? So when he says, construct a scene which would imply the fulfillment of your desire, enter the scene and remain there. If your imaginal counselor, which is your feeling of fulfillment, agrees with that which is used to illustrate your fulfilled desire, your fantasy will become a fact. I want to stop right there, because first of all, he's saying that your feeling of fulfillment is your imaginal counselor. Did you know that? Did you know that your feeling of fulfillment is your imaginal counselor? So if your imaginal counselor, that feeling of fulfillment, if you don't feel that agreement, or the imaginal counselor, that feeling of fulfillment does not agree, that all you have to do is start all over again until your imaginal counselor feels that fulfillment with whatever the scene is that you create. Listen, I did a video some time ago, and I kept saying in that video, if it's not your desired outcome, that's not it. And I have been learning so much about this over time, which is the wonderfulness of your having your own experience you're listening to me in this video right now, but you having your own experience is of utmost importance. It's everything. Just like I'm a scientist of myself, and I am a manifest coach. I have clients. I've had clients, all of this. I continue to learn and grow and just have experience after experience after experience of what Neville is saying as being the truth through my own personal experiences. And over time, there is nothing more understandable to me right now than the difference between a middle desire being fulfilled, a middle desire, a midway through along the bridge of incidents desire, and that ultimate desired outcome, the desire as if fulfilled. We can step in and try to control something. Oh my goodness, I'm getting off track a little bit. Let me go back. Because what I want to talk about is, if it's not your desired outcome, that's not it. And when I think about a story I share here on this channel quite often, where I finally came to understand after working and having different experiences in the largest healthcare system here in my area. I was going from job to job, and finally I'm like, what's going on? What is this all about? Like, I'm not happy. What's up? What's going on? When I finally carved out a space and time to sit with myself and ask myself, what did I really want? Not what did I want to compromise? What was this middle of the road, whatever? What did I really want at that time? What started to happen was I was getting these initial middle of the road types of responses that arose inside of me, that I would have to move out the way and say, nope, that's not it. After asking the question, what did I really want? Move to the side. Nope, that's not it. Something else will come up. Nope, that's not it. Because my imaginal counselor, that feeling of fulfillment was not going through my body, which helped me. I didn't know this was a terminology back then. All I knew, and this is the wonderful thing, because regardless of whether we know the terminology or not, this is what's happening inside of our body. This is what's happening regardless of whether we know the terminology or not. So anyway, a thought would come up in response to, what do you really want? And I'd know, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Until I felt inside of myself, and I saw and I felt, you want to work part-time making full-time money. And then it was like ding, 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 ding. Feeling of fulfillment. Imaginal counselor. Feeling of fulfillment just rose inside of me like, that's it. That's it. And that's how I knew. And that's how I was able to hold on. And that's how I was able to hold on and let go. Hold on meaning have faith. Let go meaning I wasn't worried about it. I just knew. I knew with all assurity, with all certainty, with all of my being. I don't care how long it took. I knew with all my being I was going to be working part-time, making full-time money. And that's what happened. That's what happened, y'all. So I wanted to share that, and also it came to my remembrance yesterday. I said, oh my goodness, I shared with you guys about the Magic Notebook, and I was talking to you about the Magic Notebook. And I'll have to add the description because I don't have time to share all the details behind that. But I was talking to you about a notebook that I'm using to script my desired outcomes, and also to get out of myself whatever comes up, whatever current beliefs come up regarding a particular desired outcome. I was telling you, you need to write it down and then write all the counter affirmative beliefs that would override, the current belief system, and how beneficial all that is. Not just beneficial, it's way more than beneficial. But the other thing that I forgot to share with you was how the other way that I use the notebook, and that is, and this was also recommended by the same gentleman who said the other stuff, that you write down on a daily basis about 5 different desired outcomes or experiences that you would like to have a day. Just get up and write them down. And I mean, it can be little stuff. I have in my notebook something silly like a dollar bill blows on my right foot. I also have it rains for 5 minutes. It snows for 5 minutes. But I also have stuff like I am respected. I am loved. People can't help but to love me. I have all of this stuff in my notebook, and the gentleman recommended, and I recommend, that what you're doing this for in your notebook is so that you can understand and have an experience on a regular basis, on a daily basis, that you are creating your reality. That whatever happens in your reality is happening because you are the manifester of it. You are the master manifester, and you always have been. So you want to get yourself, get your mind, your body, all of your senses fully engaged in understanding that you are the operant power. So this is just another little exercise you can use your notebook, another way that you can use your notebook as a tool to help you to just get in the habit of writing down and becoming consciously aware of the fact that you are the master manifester in your life. And 2, I'll just speak to the experience that I just had recently. There's a young lady who I went to school with years ago, and she always said she wanted to be a singer. And she when she comes to this restaurant in Atlantic City, New Jersey, she just tears the place down because she is so incredible. So I went to go see her because she hadn't been there in a while. So I went with a friend of mine, and it was a beautiful night. And we had just gotten into the restaurant. We're sitting there, we're eating, or rather, we were waiting for the waiter to come over and take our order. So I had my head down in my phone, and I'm just, doing my thing. Had my head down in my phone. My friend had her head down, like last minute check on family and all of this. And I realized that everybody in the restaurant is staring at me because one of the singers, a gentleman who was one of the singers in the group with my girlfriend, he was singing directly at me, flirting with me and all of this stuff, trying to get my attention, saying that he wishes that he was the phone that I was, that I'm on and all of this. And when I looked up, I'm like, he's talking to me? Not that I'm surprised that he was attracted. I'm not saying that, y'all. LOL. But my point is that to look up and be surprised by the fact that the entire restaurant is looking at me because he's trying to get my attention. When I went back and I looked in my book, I said, no, everybody loves me. They can't help but love me. So it was a manifestation that I had created. So I was just, the bottom line for me was, that, inside of myself, I'm like, it figures, that would happen. But that's the feeling I want you to have. figures that would happen. So anyway, guys, as I like to do on this channel, I like to end with how I started, with the quote. And I'm going to try to read a little quick, speed read. I tell this story only to illustrate a principle. You do not need to ask anyone to aid you in the answer to a prayer, for the simple reason that God is omnipotent and omniscient. And we know he's talking about you, me. He is in you as your own wonderful I amness. Everyone on the outside is your servant, your slave, ready and able to do your will. All you need do is know what you want, okay? Construct a scene which would imply the fulfillment of your desire. Enter the scene and remain there. If your imaginal counselor, which is your feeling of fulfillment, agrees with that which is used to illustrate your fulfilled desire, your fantasy will become a fact. If it does not, meaning if your imaginal counselor does not agree with that illustrated desired outcome, if it does not, start all over again by creating a new scene and enter it. It costs you nothing to imagine consciously. That is from Neville Goddard, 1968, Brazen Impudence. Guys, I hope you like this video. Work with that notebook. Pay attention to your imaginal counselor and whether or not that imaginal counselor is in agreement with that feeling of fulfillment. Click the like button. I hope you like the video. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, click that notification button so that those who wouldn't otherwise see this video get a chance to do so. And I will see you on the next video.